What is the value of the expression 8 squared plus 12 divided by 2 multiplied by 6? Which option do you think is the correct answer to this question? 95% of people get to read and choose the wrong answer. Let's go step by step and solve it together. To solve this question, many people start by calculating 8 squared first, and instead of the original expression, they rewrite it as 64 plus 12 divided by 2 multiplied by 6. And the next step, they usually perform the addition between 64 and 12 and simplify this expression to 76 divided by 2 multiplied by 6. Then, they proceed by doing the division between 76 and 2, which gives them 38 multiplied by 6. And finally, they multiply 38 by 6, which ends up with the answer 228. Then, without any hesitation, they quickly say that option D is the correct answer to this question. But I have to say, we're tricked and it's not the correct answer to this question. Also, some other people when solving this question first go for the expression 8 squared and they simplify to 64 plus 12 divided by 2 multiplied by 6. In the next step, they usually go for the multiplication between 2 and 6 because they think multiplication has priority over division. So, they rewrite this expression as 64 plus 12 divided by 12. Next, they perform the division between 12 and 12 since they believe division has priority over addition. And they rewrite this expression as 64 plus 1, which ultimately gives them the answer 65. And immediately, they conclude that option B is the correct answer to this question. However, this answer is absolutely wrong. Alright, now let me explain step by step how to solve this expression properly. To solve this question, we must follow a rule that is called PEMDAS. We have to follow the order of operations I told you, step by step from top to bottom. Okay, as you can see in the image, in this expression, first we have an exponent, then an addition sign, followed by a division, and finally a multiplication. We should start with the exponent, because in this expression, exponent has a higher priority than the other operations. So, this expression simplified to 64 plus 12 divided by 2 multiplied by 6. And the next step, we need to handle the division and multiplication, since multiplication and division have higher priority than addition. However, it's really important to understand that multiplication and division have exactly the same level of priority. In this situation, the best thing to do is to start from the left side of the expression and move toward the right, performing division and multiplication in order. So, first we perform the division between 12 and 2, and this expression simplified to 64 plus 6 multiplied by 6. And the final step, we do the multiplication between 6 and 6, which gives us 64 plus 36. And finally, the value of this expression is equal to 100. That's great. Option C is the correct answer to this question. Alright, now let's solve another tricky math question together. What is the value of the expression 36 minus 6 times open parentheses 14 minus 2 close parentheses? Which option do you think is the correct answer to this question? Let's break it down and solve it together. In the first step, most people perform the subtraction between 36 and 6, which I have highlighted in blue. So, this expression simplified to 30 multiplied by 14 minus 2 inside the parentheses. In the next step, they calculate 14 minus 2 inside the parentheses, which becomes 30 multiplied by 12. And finally, the value of this expression must be equal to 360. Then, without any hesitation, they quickly say that option D is the correct answer to this question. However, it's not the correct answer to this question. Alright, now let me walk you through a step by step how to solve this expression correctly. To solve this question, we must follow a rule that is called PEMDAS. PEMDAS shows us the priority of the order of operations. Okay, as you can see in the image, in this expression, first we have a subtraction sign, then a multiplication sign, and finally parentheses. We must stop with the parentheses because they have a higher priority than the other operations. So we can write this expression as 36 minus 6 multiplied by 12. And the next step, we move on to the multiplication between 6 and 12 because multiplication has a higher priority than subtraction. So we rewrite this expression as 36 minus 72, which finally gives us the answer negative 36. Therefore, option A is the correct answer to this question.